It's a bit nippy on this June 18th, 2020. Just a bit nippy. Frost is on the leaves, and I'm having a nasal response to the cold. But anyway, so did you ever wonder to yourself why your arms aren't 1 foot shorter or 1 foot longer? Why? Why is it that they are the exact right length to deal with, not just moving around and grabbing tree limbs, I guess, but also they're exactly the right length for dealing with both your ass and also your genitalia? It's like, how'd that happen? Well, it happened because our ancestors found a benefit to survival, to dealing with your having some opposable thumb tools that you can control easily to deal with both your ass and your genitalia. It's like, that's interesting. How'd that happen? Anyway, that's intelligent design, right? But it's intelligence from evolution. And one key thing that everyone should do, from the religious to the non-religious, is be willing to see things through an evolutionary lens. An evolutionary lens, a selection lens. And to hear the reactionary leftist atheist talk about the religious is really so boring and lazy. Oh my God. I'm so through with the laziness of people like Michael Shermer, Sam Harris, Dan Barker, Richard Dawkins, Dan Dennett to some extent, although he did come out with how religion is natural, that's true. But he's still a leftist commie hippie with Trump derangement syndrome. Sean Carroll had a few years ago this workshop attended by a lot of people, and it was called Moving Naturalism Forward. Moving Naturalism Forward. You can search for that on YouTube. And there's a bunch of people talking, but pretty much none of those people would break the mold of the cultural Marxist social leftist bullshit that Sean Carroll loves so much in his heart. The biased non-scientist Sean Carroll, he's only a scientist with regard to the very narrow range of theoretical physics, and even then the man's a nihilist, and so therefore he's excluding non-nihilistic potentialities. But moving naturalism forward. How come you move naturalism forward? You apply the evolutionary lens to everything, and don't assume that the leftist social policies are the best ones. Maybe they're the worst policies. Are your beliefs falsifiable? Does a social leftist scientist, so-called scientist, ever ask themselves that? Does Michael Shermer ever ask himself how every goddamn thing that comes out of Michael Shermer's mouth seems to justify, kind of a lefty hippie libertarian view, but nothing else, So the evolutionary lens. Religion is not just natural, Mr. Dr. Dennett. It also couches evolved morality. And there's grifting resource acquisition Ponzi schemes in operation within the secular world. Well, why does that happen? For evolutionary reasons. Why? Anyway, you can just apply that to everything. So that's a useful tool. Whenever the God people talk about God, it's for evolutionary reasons, human nature reasons, continuance reasons. It's the shared dream around which people circle because it provides protection and social cohesion and, helps promote life. So that's why we have brains that can have these shared dreams, which people claim to believe, and I believed. I believed in the shared dream. But, I was also part of a destructive cult that had bad aspects, so, anyway. So that's that situation. So I wouldn't mind having my family go to a church, but when they ask me, with regard to a church, I want to be able to sit in the main meeting with my kids. I don't want them shuffled away to a separate room. So while the main meeting is happening, that's stupid. Second thing is, I don't want them to put a litmus test on me to say, well, you have to literally believe in Jesus to be part of our group, or even that it should be your main goal to believe in a literal Jesus to be part of our group. No, but, I'll share your social goals. I'll share your social goals with regard to anti-abortion, pro-life, pro-children, pro-family, families first, gender not changeable in the human animal, regular marriage being the best, a gay marriage not being a thing, sex meaning is what happens when people engage in inherently reproductive activities with their genitalia, and other activities are just wankery, mutual or otherwise, with either same or opposite sex partners. So I share all those goals. Margaret Sanger was a racist eugenicist. Hey, I want to be on your team. You can be on my team. Let's join hands and advocate for all these things. And advocate for them for completely natural and evolution and good reasons. Good naturalism, good humanism, red-pilled humanism. So there should be a Christian atheist alliance, but it's the alliance where we join hands to promote life. So anyway, that's that situation. But I spent 10 years on Facebook. Ooh, it's more nippy in this section. Look at the frost. Ooh, this is the nippy section because it's more blocked by the sun, I guess. Spent 10 or 11 years on Facebook, which was largely a waste of time. But Facebook is largely, initially it was okay. Then slowly, gradually, and increasingly, it turned into an increasingly censorious place where there was huge weighting toward San Fran social leftism and cultural Marxism, postmodernism, favoring social leftism. Now Facebook has a huge contract with a company called Cognizant, where they employ little fascists to monitor your every thought, but they also have programmatic artificial intelligence to detect wrongthink. And they label wrongthink as hate speech. And they'll shit-can your ass in a minute, in a second, if they detect wrongthink. Okay? Wrongthink. So Facebook is a black hole. It draws you in with the lure of connection with your family, and it draws you in with, basically you're sharing your personal life with strangers. That's kind of wrong also, and dangerous. So draws you in with the, it's a Ponzi scheme also. Draws you in and then tricks you. It's a bait and switch, and it's completely unusable now. But while I was on there, I would have, before I got shit-canned, in the later years, I got shit-canned several times. Usually about once a year, there'd be a major shit-can lasting a week or maybe a month. Well, I think the last one was a month where I said, this is bullshit, I'm leaving. But sometimes in the previous years, they'd last a week. But anyway, when you're engaging in debates with the postmodernists, with the followers of Faisal Saeed al-Muhtar, the postmodernists and the Stonewall crowd, you engage in debates with them and conversations or discussions, and all you get back from these people is argumentum ad hominem. And people like Michael Shermer, intellectually lazy Michael Shermer, all you get back is argumentum ad hominem also, and projection, lazy thinking. Let's engage with the ideas, Mr. Shermer, instead of your bullshit, dumb, lazy, hippie dumb shittery. So, yeah. So the evolutionary lens, use that when you're examining how people act and whether you're being cheated or not. Cheated by an either, yes, a religious person, a religious leader, but also cheated by a secular person, big time. But the one nice thing about traditional religion is, and I'm not sure I include Mormonism in that, traditional religion that's been around for a couple thousand years. The nice thing is, you'll have a support structure for your family, and that's good. And they promote life, they promote family, they deny the lies of the postmodernists around human nature. But there's also leftist religion, which is off the rails, which is not really religion. Democrat supporting religion is not really religion. It's just a lefty social club. So lefty social clubs are of less value to the human project because they're nihilist. They don't promote life. So anyway, Mr. Conservative Churchy friend, let's join hands. Join hands with people who are on the same team on social issues. Let's do that. And to, Bernie Deller, who died of cancer, he would have these group conversations or chats between himself. He was a Christian, then he went to atheism. But when he was a Christian, he'd have chats with atheists. And I guess he got kind of converted to atheism. But I think even Bernie may not have fully appreciated how religion's couch evolved morality. And this debate about whether there's a God or no God is kind of irrelevant. Irrelevant because when people have memes in their brains and they act on them, that is an evolutionary process, a natural process. And this business of whether there's a personal God or not. Well, if people believe in a personal God and they act on that, then the action is what counts. Actions are what counts. And if that has an evolutionary survival benefit, that's what counts. It's not turtles all the way down, but who cares? Promote life. All right, that's it.